We're recording on Zoom here. And we're talking tonight about three signs you know you're making progress. How do you know you're making progress? Oops. How do you know you're making progress in your journey of healing the emotional patterns in your life, the emotional blocks that are keeping you stuck? How do we know? How do we know we're moving forward as opposed to spending lots of time in therapy, in healers' offices? How do we know we're making progress? Hi, Taj. Good to see you here. How do we know we're making progress in that area instead of just spending time in the hamster wheel of therapists' offices, healers' offices? What's happening? How do we know? So my name is Jenna Pacelli. I am a licensed psychotherapist, a holistic health coach, and I am in private practice with folks from all over the world in trauma resolution, somatic trauma resolution. And I am really excited to be here with you to share some of this with you. So something that I heard this today from one of my very wise clients, and she said, I know I'm making progress because right now I'm tired, but I'm tired because I'm growing. I'm not tired because I'm dying. She's engaging in her life in a different way. She's showing up for her life in a different way. And rather than where she was before, which was really stuck. She wasn't moving through her life in a productive way. And so there's three things I was thinking about and I wanted to share with you that are going to tell you you're making progress in a deeper, at a deeper level, rather than, again, wasting your time with ineffective work, right? So my specialty is, again, in somatic trauma resolution, but also with folks who have been through a lot of treatment, who have been through to a lot of healers and even medical doctors, and they can't figure out their medical symptoms, but and all their medical tests are coming up clear and they can't figure that out. They don't know what's going on. Usually it's some kind of nervous system pattern or stuck pattern in the nervous system and in the body. So there's three things that we can look for. One is the window of tolerance. I'm going to talk about each of these. One's the window of tolerance or someone's capacity, and I'll explain what that means in a moment. Two, can they stay in their body when the things are coming up, and how quickly are they catching themselves in the pattern that they know about themselves, that they know they get into, and can they redirect themselves? Do they have the skills and the tools to redirect themselves, and how quickly can they do that? Okay, and then I'm going to share with you an essential oil that I really love that helps support this process of navigating change and solidifying change. So window of tolerance, number one, window of tolerance, that is our nervous system's capacity, our body's capacity to tolerate stress and tolerate stress, essentially, right? So there's fight, flight, and that's the gas pedal in the body. That's on, that's the gas pedal, and then there's freeze, and that's the parasympathetic. Off, the brake pedal, right, in the car. And everybody is going to come in with a different capacity, so to tolerate stress and to tolerate the work, right? So are they going numb, right? Are they getting really anxious? Are they getting really angry? And are they able to track that? So the window of tolerance literally refers to like the bowl that you have. Let's say I've got the difference between like a teaspoon and a bowl of capacity to hold the things that I am having to process in my life. So I'm much more concerned when folks come into working with me and they don't feel anything. It's much more concerning, and they have a lot more work to do. They have a lot more work ahead of them if they don't feel anything in their bodies, or they don't feel safe feeling things in their bodies, or they're being faced with stress and they're not responding in an appropriate way. So if somebody violates my boundary, let's say as an example, and I don't feel angry about it, that might be a sign. Let's say if I don't feel anything about it, but it's a big violation, let's say, that's a bigger problem to me than the anger. Okay. So are they able to be with the feelings? Are they able to be with the sensations, tracking both in themselves, and then able to show up for those feelings and sensations as they're coming? Okay, so that's window of tolerance. Number 2, this is similar but related. Can they stay in their bodies in the face of whatever it is they're dealing with? Okay, can they stay in their bodies, or do they go numb? Do they get spacey? Do they get do they get like floaty or feel like they're not connected to their bodies? Usually you'll notice that people can't feel the lower half of their body in particular. They're going to be like, ooh, or they've got a lot of sensation up here, or they're just stuck in the thought channel. They're just looping around in the thoughts, not connected to their bodies. People will spend years and years and years in talk therapy and coaching if they don't connect to the body. If the body is not brought into the equation, depending on the person's issues, they will stay in the work. They will be in the work without making a lot of progress. Okay. I've seen this over and over and over and over again. And as soon as we link the body in, even if it's a little bit, as soon as we bring the body in to the work, they start to make progress. They start to move forward. Now, that being said, it might take a while for somebody to be able to inhabit their bodies. That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you can spend a lot of time creating the safety in the system that allows them to do the work. Okay. So sometimes the work is preparing the person for the work and the ability to hang out a little bit at a time with what's coming up in the body. Okay. And then the third, how quickly can I catch myself? Once I know what my pattern is, how quickly can I catch myself engaging in the pattern and redirect myself? And even better, how quickly can I notice the pattern coming on? How quickly do I notice myself showing up, or how quickly do I notice the pattern showing up in my body? Okay, so if I tend to be prone to anxiety and feeling insecure, let's say, like there's going to be a bodily sensation that comes with that. It's linked together. Usually people with anxiety can really feel it. So if you have anxiety, you know what I'm talking about, right? You get it for the most part, usually. And if I can catch myself early on in the sensation of that, I'm going to notice that rather than immediately reacting, immediately responding, immediately engaging in the behavior of the pattern, I'm going to be able to redirect myself. I'm going to be able to bring that into my work and process that in a different way. But when we're stuck in the problem, right? Einstein said, like, if you're stuck in the consciousness of the problem, you can never find a solution. Something like that. That's just off memory. But if I can start to shift and notice that I am starting to step out of the consciousness of the problem and I am in a new way of being. And this is a really exciting place to be. So even if they're suffering, even if they're struggling with it, it is so exciting because this is the change. That's the shift. When I can notice, ooh, here it's coming. Here's my pattern. Here's what I do with my partner. Here's what I do at work. When I start to feel this way, and they're slowing that process down, the easier it's going to be. The faster they're going to start to shift out of it and take accountability for what's going on, rather than being lost in the consciousness of the problem, right? So it's really powerful when people start to gain this awareness. And when the body is online through all of this, we're in a sweet spot. Okay. You can see how excited I am about it. And in oil, so essential oils bypass, I love essential oils because they bypass the frontal lobe, the whole cognitive part of the brain, the upper parts of the brain, of consciousness, the consciousness parts of the brain. I'm like really stumbling over my words right now. And it goes straight back to the olfactory bulb in the brain and allows us to use scent to anchor in a new experience. Okay, so it's going to go straight to the limbic system, straight to the subcortical parts of the brain, right? The deeper parts of the brain that these patterns are living in, right? So we want to use essential oils in these moments. And one of my favorite ones is Siberian fir. And it's wonderful for supporting awareness of negative family patterns, so negative interaction or intergenerational patterns, and encourages us, because it's so grounding, right? It's a wood oil, and wood oils from trees are deeply grounding and soothing for the parasympathetic, the nervous system in general, but they're going to help turn on the parasympathetic rest and digest part of the nervous system, which then allows us to pause, right? It allows us to slow down our process so that we can start to engage in shifting the pattern. So I love to use them. It's a couple of drops, and I use medical grade essential oils. We can talk about that in another video. Couple drops in the palms of the hands, popping the hands over the nose and mouth, also supports your respiratory system. And notice the weight of the body, noticing the weight of the body, the contact of the body with the chair, and then placing any of the excess behind the neck, behind the ears, and maybe on the bottoms of my feet. Okay, the bottoms of we have the biggest pores in our body on the bottoms of our feet, and the essential oil is going to go, if it's potent enough and pure enough, it will spread through the bloodstream in about 27 seconds. Okay, very powerful, very potent. So that's that. So we talked about tonight, again, the 3 ways we know we're making progress when we're working on healing the emotional patterns that are keeping us stuck. And if you can tie the body into your work, if you can tie essential oils, oh my gosh, okay. We just lost that over on Instagram. Oh no. We lost it. Okay, that's okay. So we're shifting out of the patterns when we utilize all these things. Okay, we want to take an integrative, holistic approach. So feel free to follow me, Jenna Pacelli, on all the social networks. I am adding things to my YouTube page. You can find me there, and subscribe to my newsletter over at jennapacelli.com or at bendtraumatherapy.com, BEND traumatherapy.com. And I will see you next time. See you soon. Bye-bye.